Welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm actually going to be just carrying on where we left off, and I'm going to be working on removing the rear subframe. So we're going to be working on the rear. We're going to be taking all these arms and stuff, hubs, brake caliper, and then we're going to drop the subframe hopefully, and then possibly the tank, wherever it is, and we should be good. We'll probably take that metal piece off and fix that up. But yeah, so I'm just going to go ahead and start working on this side and then see what happens from there. So we've been having little problems with all the bolts. A lot of them are getting seized, but I've got most of them out. It's just this one here connected to the coil. You can see, let's see if you can see. When I turn it, when I try and turn this, the bolt is actually seized to the bushing, and there's no real way to get it out without cutting it. And I can't really heat it up because then this bushing will get destroyed, and I'm not sure about the oil in here, how that will work. So I'm thinking, I was going to try drill a hole on this side so I can get something in there to touch the bolt, and then just try and hammer it out, try and loosen it up at least. And if that doesn't work, then we're going to have to just cut the bolt. So I did a hole and I tried to start hammering it to try and push the bolt out, but it's kind of awkward here, so I'm probably just gonna take the top bolts out of this and then take the whole arm off, and then probably try and get it off up on the bench, because it will probably be easier rather than it sitting on the car, and then I can just carry on with dismantling everything. So I'm just gonna take the two bolts out the back and then take this arm off as with the shock, and then I'll eventually try and get this bolt out. now the rears off. I was gonna do the start taking the rear subframe down, but decided I'm just actually gonna instead I'm actually just gonna work on the front, take all the wiring off the. But that's what I'm gonna do. Start taking the wires off for the front, the engine loom, and all that. So I'm able to then drop the engine with the subframe. So I got all the subframe bolts off, and it's just been held up by the lift. So what I'm going to do now is just going to slowly lower it down, and then keep checking to make sure everything's unplugged. And then I have another jack holding up the gearbox as well, so I'm just going to slowly drop them down both at the same time. So the engine's coming out with the subframe. There was like 6 bolts, or 8 bolts, 4 on each side, 2 there and then 2 down here, yet to take out. And then so I should have everything all unplugged, probably not, so that's why I'm just going to go down, put it down slowly, and then keep checking to make sure nothing's still attached and gonna rip off or anything. Alright, so I got the engine out, ended up just dropping it out the bottom and putting it onto a tray, so I could just then pull it down easily down to here, so it's out of the way of underneath the car. I didn't get it out first time, there was a few things I forgot. So there was a fuel line here I had to take off because that was connected to the engine, and then the steering, completely forgot about taking that off, so then I just took it off. And then on the inside it was just the stick was still connected, so it wasn't dropping properly, so I took that out, and then I was able to just slowly drop it down with the engine lift, as well as a jack to hold up the gearbox. But it's out now, so we've got a lot more space. You can see I didn't bother taking off the drive shaft, so I just ended up lowering the engine, and then this pulled the engine forward, brought the engine forward slightly every time I was pulling it out, so then the drive shaft would just it just fell out itself, because I couldn't get to the bolts on the rear. I couldn't get to these bolts on the rear because this here was in the way, and it has 2 spacers to stop it from coming out once the bolts are, and it was too awkward to get off from underneath the car. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, let me just go over there. I'm actually just going to drop the subframe now with the diff included, and then the drive shaft will come with it, as well as the, I think it's called the PPF. That will all come out, and then I'll be able to, once it's out, have a lot more space to then completely dismantle it all. Got the rear subframe out now. Wasn't too bad. Had about 8 bolts as well. 3 there, and then 1 there, and then same on the other side. I just took it out with the PPF as well as the diff because I couldn't get to these nuts and bolts, and then it has a little spacer in here I couldn't get on because I think it's glued on. Someone glued it on there, so I've got to figure out a way to get that out. It's not that one, it's this one. But it wasn't too bad, so now I can take the diff out and clean up the whole subframe and everything, disassemble it all. So now pretty much everything's off, except I've still got the tank to take out up there. The tank's up here, and then I think the fuel filter's there, and we can get rid of all that, and then we should it would be close to everything off the car, and then we'll just have to take the cables away because we're going to be under sealing everything. So I'm just going to take the these bolts off so I can drop the tank. So the tank is out. I was able to just drop it out. I was able to just grab it and pull it out. Didn't have that much petrol in it. Was a bit awkward because of how high it was off the ground. I had to put it on the jack on a stand and then just pull it out, but that's it out. Pretty much got everything out now except for these wires, which I'll be taking out next, as well as taking all this stuff out of the engine bay because I'm planning on cleaning up all the rust and then painting it. Probably going to be painting it the same colour, I think I will. That's going to be in a different video, and I think that's all I'm going to be doing in this video too. It's probably long enough. So yeah, next video I'll be working on that stuff, taking that off, maybe moving on to welding the chassis rails. I'm not sure yet, depends how long it takes, but this whole chassis rail here has to be cut out from there to there and put in new plates, and then put in new bolt or new nuts on the inside so the anti-roll bar mount can connect up. But yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.